Hey, what's good, fam? Can we talk? Let's get to it. So I was watching a video today. Um, it was a contrast between Trevor Noah and Thomas Sowell, giving their perspectives about the current situation of blacks in America. And it was an interesting perspective. I respected both people's positions. But one of the things that they were talking about that really struck me, and it was actually Thomas Sowell who said it. The interviewer that was interviewing Thomas Sowell asked him a question. He said, if you had an opportunity to talk to a future Thomas Sowell, to talk to a young man right now, a young man, a young woman, who is an intellectual, who's working towards something, who's trying to become something in life, what valuable information would you give them? And Thomas Sowell said, find something you can do well that people would be willing to pay for. Find something you can do well that people would be willing to pay for. That would be my contribution to that young man or that young woman. And I had this crazy revelation. I mean, it was the wildest feeling in the world. And I had this revelation that there are people who are gifted at telling people how messed up society is. There are people that are gifted at telling people how oppressed they are and how jacked up the society is and how messed up the government is and how jacked up things has been for you. There are people that are gifted at that, and we pay them to tell us that. It's people who got talk shows, who's people who got podcasts, people who got YouTube channels, people who get invited to go speak, and all they telling you is the same information you've been hearing since the day you were born. If you are alive in America right now, that America is rough for black people. It's been that way. You ain't telling me nothing new, and yet they are gifted at keeping you angry and frustrated, and we pay money to hear that. But meanwhile, a person will come along and tell you hope. People will tell you that there's an opportunity for you to do something good with your life. There's an opportunity for you to take your family and be blessed by it and do wonderful things, and you'll call them a sellout. But you'll pay money to have a person tell you that there ain't no hope for your future. We backwards in the we backwards in the mug, man. And I realized this because my mother used to tell me something when I was a child. She said, Corey, you have to stop letting people get you mad. And when I was a kid, I thought she was just simply talking about the people that was in front of me doing something to me, and then I get mad off of what they were doing. But as I became older, I realized that ultimately what my mother was saying is there are people that are gifted at being able to tell you something that will always keep you in a state of madness. There are people who are gifted at being able to tell you information and spin information that will always keep you angry. You have to stop letting people get you mad, because if people can get you mad, they can control you. They can control what you buy. They can control what you think. They can control who you listen to. They can control how you feel about yourself. They can control how you see the world. They can control how you raise your children. They can control your everything about that, all because they can simply get you angry. And I have noticed that our society, people make a great living off of telling you all this bad information. But meanwhile, a person will come with hope and upliftment, and we'll knock them and we'll shun them and we'll say they just trying to cash in. We'll say they just trying to get paid off of you. But meanwhile, the person who's telling you that there is no hope, that person really cares about you. Oh, that person feels me. They get it. They understand what it feel like. They keeping it real. And all they telling you is the same thing that you've been hearing your entire life. They're not telling you something that's going to help you. They're not telling you something that's going to help your children. They're not telling you something that's going to give you a hope in a future. They're not telling you something that's going to make life better for you. They're just telling you the same old conditions you've been growing up in and keeping you aware of that so that they can keep you angry, so that you can keep paying them and they can keep being fed. Because I always wondered, how it is that the people who spend so much time telling us how jacked up it is, they doing so well in life. I mean, all these people sitting here, this racism and this, and I'm like, but you're a millionaire. Instead of telling us about the racism, tell me how you circumvented the system and you got paid. Tell us that. Tell us how you navigated through all of this and got rich. Tell us how you were able to start a business, or you were able to get into the television and media, and you were able to do all investments in businesses. How were you able to break through the system? You sitting here telling me how doom and gloom and jacked up it is, but yet you so successful in life. Tell me how you made it. Tell me what you did to get up out to change your situation. Why are you still telling me how bad it is for me and you making it? Tell me what you did to get up out of this mess. But that's the secret. That's how they get paid. That's how they make all their money. Is they tell you how bad you doing. They tell you how jacked up it is, and look at what they doing to you. Look at them over there. And meanwhile, you're like, yeah, let me get that money though. Yeah, right on. Yeah, they treating you bad. Man, don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. It's a lot of people out here who's getting it. I'm talking, I don't care who you are. I don't care what environment you grew up in. I don't care what circumstance you are. I don't care if you, man, listen, this generation right now, for the people who will stop making excuses, the people who will actually say, I don't care what it is out there, I'm going to go get whatever I can get. It is opportunity out there. It is crazy. I listen to the Social Proof podcast, and every now and then I'll listen to the table with AO, Anthony O'Neill. And then you got like Wall Street Trapper and Earn Your Leisure. You got all these cats. And if you watch they podcasts and they shows, they showing you person after person after person after person after company of young black men, young black women that are out here making bread. Literally, the black bread company, do you hear me? Making money because they got to a place where they stopped making excuses and started taking advantage of whatever opportunity was in front of them. We have to get to a place where we stop looking at all of the obstacles and start looking at the blessing that's on the other side of the enemy. On the other side of that door, on the other side of that challenge, whatever that challenge is, whatever that obstacle is, lies your blessing. Go get it. Go get it. I'm a Christian, so I'm getting ready to tell you how I feel about the situation. I cannot, as a Christian, tell people to believe in a God that told me that before the foundations of the earth, he knew me. He knew the plans he had for me. He knew everything about my life. And yet now I'm sitting here telling him that I can't achieve nothing because the situation is the country is rigged against people that look like me. How am I going to stand in front of people and tell them about a God and how good that God is? And I can't, but yet my God ain't even good enough to get me out of the current situation, or he wasn't prepared for what was getting ready to go on when I got to the Americas. No, he knew everything about it. And he knew what was going to be the obstacles we was going to face it. That's why he told the Israelites when he led them up out of Egypt, everywhere you set your foot, go and get it. I'm giving you the land. Sure, you're going to have to go to war. You may have to go to war. Are you going to have to overcome some obstacles? You may have to overcome some obstacles. Are you going to have to get past some racism and some systemic oppressions and some social injustices and some people standing on television telling you that you ain't going to never be able to make it because the world is all jacked up? You're going to have to get over all of that. But the moment you get over all of that and you start working towards where you're going, you will have it. Man. We got to stop paying people to tell us up. We got to stop giving all this money to people telling us it ain't nothing but doom and gloom. I don't care how good it seems. Man, they done made enough movies about it. We done wrote enough books about it. They done made enough shows about it. They done did enough everything about everything that's happened bad to people. Listen, are you going to go get it? Do you want it or not? And if you want it, stop only listening to people who's telling you you can't have it. Fill your mind and fill your ears with people who are telling you you can go get it. And if you feel the need to give somebody some money, give it to me. I tell you, give me a holler. I tell you, you can go get it. You can have everything your heart desires. Does that mean you're going to have to work? Yeah, that means you're going to have to put in some work. Does that mean you're going to have to kick some people to the curb because they ain't willing to think like you because they don't want to go? You're going to have to do it. But if you want it, go get it. The time is now. The time is now for us to stop making excuses about everything bad that happened. Our ancestors did not go through what they went through so that we would spend the rest of our lives talking about everything they went through. Like the struggle is keeping it alive that they went through everything. No, they went through everything they went through with a hope in a future that we would have an opportunity to do better. And when the opportunity came, we sitting around talking about how jacked up it's been to get to the opportunity instead of taking advantage of the opportunity. Let's go get it. All right, y'all. Man. Paying people to tell us how messed up it is. Boy, I wish I would. Man, ain't that something? All right, y'all. Man, that's my 2 cents on the 2 piece. Y'all be blessed.